Hi, I'm Marvin Lindsay. I'm the senior pastor of First Presbyterian Church.
Hello, and I am Preston Turley, Director of Campus Ministries and Director of the Offering Worship Gathering at First Presbyterian Church.
Preston, you seem angry.
I'm very upset.
What is it now?
The Royals are having a terrible year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got a sunburn a few weeks ago. It's healed now, but I'm still upset about it.
Good.
But
Are you mad at the sun, or are you mad at yourself for
both?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm just mad at myself for not wearing sunscreen.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask, how does that work? So this is going to come. Actually, there's a point. How does that work when you get mad at the sun? How does that work out for you?
I shake my fist and then it continues to shine. So.
Okay. So it's oblivious to your anger.
Yes, very true.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Why are we talking about anger?
Well, as I understand it, we're going to be addressing anger and in worship this Sunday
That's
from
right.
the pulpit and in our worship theme. So
Yeah. That's oh, is that why? Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, that's right. Our sermon series in the month of June is about history, past, heritage, both thanking God for the gifts that we've received through the ages, and also kind of coming to terms with the past. So last week we talked about how can we be forgiven for mistakes we made in the past, and this week we're going to be talking about how can we forgive others for things that have been done to us,
Right.
things that we maybe still carry anger or resentment about, things that we hold grudges about. So
Yeah, and so in my reading of the passages for this week and thinking about it, I just wonder if you wanted to speak a little bit to talking about forgiving others, the people or even the things that make us angry. Do you think that as Christians we have does that have a limit? We're called to get rid of rage and anger, as Paul talks about in Ephesians, but is there a point that a person can do something to us, something can be done to us enough times that we say, okay, I've forgiven you this many times, or I've turned the other cheek this many times, but you've reached your limit, and now my only response is anger, a refusal to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we find a healthy balance to make sure that we're living in forgiveness and not sinning in our anger, but also taking good care of ourselves and making sure that we're practicing good self-care and taking care of our own spirit and emotions and things like that? How do we do that?
Well, I think the first thing is we need to. Anger is a double-edged sword. I mean, we see in the Bible Jesus getting angry. I mean, he makes this a whip out of cords and drives the people out of the temple because he's so angry at how religion is being falsified and perverted and turned to bad ends. So, on the other hand, we are enjoined to turn the other cheek, and Paul commands us to be angry but don't sin, and don't let the sun go down on your anger. So I think that's the key. Be angry but don't sin, and then don't let the sun go down on your anger. So that implies that there's a good and bad aspect to anger. And so I think the first thing is that we need to be angry about the things that God gets angry about. I don't know that God cares about the Royals.
I don't know. Well, evidently
I'm sorry.
not this season.
And I don't know that I don't know how much God cares about, like, if we get cut off in traffic, I mean, maybe it was just like, okay, that guy wasn't watching, or that gal wasn't watching. But things like, hungry children, God gets angry about. All kinds of injustices and human misery and suffering. I think that we need to be angry about the things that God is angry about. But then it says, do not sin and don't let the sun go down on your anger. So I think we need to take purposeful action. Like, the good thing about anger is that anger can drive us to act, whereas maybe otherwise we would just be kind of, couch potatoes. So take purposeful action out of your anger, but don't let anger curdle into resentment or grudges, or because that begins to kind of that paralyzes our behavior. And the other thing is, I think that what it does is it inhibits us in coming to terms with the past, because if we're so preoccupied with what somebody has done wrong to us, then all that we can see is the wrong that other person has done, and all we can see is their need to change. and then we completely lose sight of our own need to change, our own need for repentance, for reform of our life, and so that's the way that anger can really kind of imprison us in the past. It just we can't make any progress in life.
Right.
I don't know,
So it's great. I mean, it's ultimately you hear all the time the cliche about holding a grudge hurts me more than it hurts the person.
Yeah.
So no, I like that. I like the idea that Christ has taught this way, and then Paul has reminded this way for our benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for your own good, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm really mad about the Royals too.
Yeah,
if you're angry, I'm angry.
Okay. Well, good. I appreciate the solidarity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, to the extent that I care about baseball.
Okay. Very good.
I'm very upset about the Royals
Right.
this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're
All
welcome.
of us do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we want to invite you to join us this Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. We won't be talking about the Royals in worship, but we will be talking about anger and
Yes.
trying to listen to the scriptures about how anger can be, again, a force, a positive force for action, but how it can also be debilitating, and how God's grace can free us from unhealthy anger and unhealthy grudge holding, and can help us to be at peace with ourselves and with the world around us, and most of all with God. Yeah, so join us at what time is it again?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
And only 10 o'clock.
That's right. One service in the months of June and July. See you later.
Bye.